Alright, what's going on, guys? So this video is going to be a short one because I just want to show off a cool part here that I just got from Evan Lewis at Pure Performance Texas. Check him out. Evan makes the seat brackets for race seats for the V1s. I have them in my car. I love them. They're really the only seat bracket option. But he also makes some crash bars, really cool tow hooks that work with the factory bumpers, and he sells an assortment of other parts. But this is a new part that he's working on. So you guys that put aftermarket steering wheels, like I have my Grip Royal steering wheel in the Drift-V, well, you know that you're going to lose your buttons. And then these buttons are important because, as you can see here, you can scroll through the different pages on your info center, traction control, or you have cruise control and some other buttons on the other side depending on your year. So the hardest part is figuring out where you want to put these things. And for me, I ended up zip tying this up under the dash, pulling all the wires out of the clock spring and all that jazz, and it was kind of a pain. So Evan made this sick plate that he's going to have available soon on his site, where it's all 3D printed. It's a nice flat piece, and it has what resembles the buttons. And then what you do, which I'm going to walk you through here, is you mount the board to the back with the rubber for the buttons, and it then allows you to have your buttons, have it plugged in on the back side, and you can mount this anywhere you want. So we're gonna have to find a spot to mount this in the car, but I'll walk you through installing the other side. So it comes with some screws here that we're gonna pull out to start. So there's some really small screws, and you wanna make sure all these button pieces stay in, the little pegs stay in where they gotta go. We'll put that down right there for now. And we take our steering wheel piece. This I cut off the steering wheel again because I had it zip tied. And then you're gonna take the 3 screws out on the back side here. So once these are out, we'll pull this plastic cover off. That will reveal the board. Now I did the first side just so I could test it myself and make sure I don't look like an idiot on camera as I try and do this. So we'll pull this off. This is just the back side of the buttons. Put that aside. We're kind of done with that. And we're gonna flip this board upside down. So I literally just made a joke about making myself look like an idiot on camera. I grabbed the one that I had already pulled the board out of. So let me try that again with the other side. That is cruise control and our adjustments. Now, my car does not have cruise control because I do not have my wheel speed sensors hooked up because I run the handbrake and all that jazz. But if I wanted to, ultimately, I could just plug in my rear wheel speed sensor that I have unplugged, and the drift car will have cruise control, but it'll probably activate the ABS if I pull the handbrake. So we'll get this pulled out. All right. So you're gonna have your rubber piece right there. These plastic pieces we no longer need, and you're gonna flip this upside down, and then you're gonna have your board with your LED bulbs in it. Now there's 2 clips on each side here, so I just press this one clip back with my finger, and I just pop the board up, and then it should just pop out pretty easily. Push this other one here. There we go. All right, so throw our plastic piece aside. So now we're left with the board and then the rubber piece. So the way this works, light bulbs go through the little holes in the rubber, and then your contacts on the back here are your buttons. So they press down. So ultimately, they're gonna sit up against the flat side of these pegs so that when you press the pegs in, they are making contact on the board. So we have our small screws there. The orientation is a little different than how it would be on the steering wheel, so your buttons might flip around, but that's really no big deal. We're gonna lay this in place. I'm actually gonna get one of these screws started. Now on this side, this resistor or capacitor is kind of obnoxiously large, but I guess you'll just have to take that into account with wherever you mount this. We're all snugged up there. And just like that, we have our plate. We have all of our pegs pressing the buttons. We're all good. This is going to be the side I use. This is your toggle side, toggling through your display for your oil pressure, trans temp, all that jazz, coolant temp. That's what is most important to me on track. Cruise control, not so much. So, but it's still nice to have, you know. I figure I'll assemble the whole thing as it should be, even though I haven't touched these buttons since zip tying them under my dash. These I use all the time because I'm constantly checking oil temps, oil pressure. It's just good to know when you're on track. So again, Pure Performance Texas, Evan Lewis on the CTS-V pages. Super quality part. It's 3D printed. It is pretty sweet. We're just going to have to figure out where we're going to mount it in the car, and I'll probably do some kind of like L bracket or something like that off of it. We can drill a little hole in the center and put a bolt through it. That way we can mount it somewhere good and sturdy. But yeah, so these are going to be available on his site soon, so keep an eye out for them. Or I know he posted them in the CTS-V versus CTS-V1 versus the World page on Facebook, so check them out, or check that page out and keep an eye out for Evan on updates on this. But again, if you are looking for any kind of seat brackets for your V1, tow hooks, bash bars, crash beams, more so, that's the place to get them. Pure Performance Texas. And yeah, so cool part. Looking forward to installing it. And thank you guys for tuning in for this little short video.